Hey, what's up, my people? How you doing? My name is Dalton, and this is my channel. Now, today I want to rap to you about something that caught my eye, and it is super, super important. And it's kind of what's going on with the job hiring and the jobs right now here in the USA. And this article was really in depth and it was hidden. It was hidden by all these other articles, uh, China spy balloon being shot down. All these other articles hid it, but I found it. Okay, and it was really in depth, and it was really eye opening. And that article is called "The Great Reboot." That's right, "The Great Reboot." REBOOT. Now, and it reminded me of something I went through when I lived in Seattle. I went through it, but it was a little bit different. But it was called uh, when tech, the tech bubble burst. Okay, and I'll try to explain that later on in the video. Okay, now what is the great reboot? Okay, and before I go on, let me say I got my water. And if I cough or anything, I do apologize. But here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA, the weather has been crazy. And what I mean by that is that we'll have 28 degrees at night, which is, normal. It's cold up here in the winter. But we've been having 60 and 70-degree days. So people's bodies are fluctuating. People are coughing, or we got a lot of people coughing, colds and stuff like that because stuff is blooming, thinking it's spring, and it's been crazy, and still is crazy. All right, so let's do this. So now I'm reading this article, and what they're saying is this: not just tech companies, but all these tech companies are laying off, have laid off people, are laying off, and will continue to lay off people in the future. Okay? Yes, I know. You know that. And that's not just tech companies, that's going to be other areas of employment as well. Now, what is the great reboot? Okay? The great reboot is these tech companies and all these other companies. Some of them you hear about, some of them you don't, are laying off people, have laid off people, and will continually lay off people. And what they're doing, and it's called the Great Reboot, is that once they lay off a lot of people, and they're going to keep laying off people, they're going to slowly rehire people back, whether they're in the USA or overseas, to do the same job and most likely tack on a little bit more, okay, to what they have to do at a lower rate. That's what they're going to do. And they interviewed all these recruiters. And if you don't know what a recruiter is like the middle person, okay, the middleman or the middle woman that connects you with the employer. Okay, a lot of times you submit an application like Zip Recruiter. You're submitting applications, but you're not actually submitting them to the company. You're submitting them to a recruiting company. Okay. And then a recruiting company notifies the company. And you also have digital recruiters. Okay. Indeed.com. You go up there, look for jobs, but you also put your resume up there for other jobs to find you. They're the middle person. Okay. Now, some of the most successful jobs really have been on-site jobs when the people just literally walk up to them, fill out an application because it's more traditional, and some people have been getting hired on the spot. Okay. Not for the same money that they left the job for, but they have been getting hired. Okay. Now, the great reboot. That's what the great reboot is. Okay. So they're gonna start hiring back very slowly at a lower rate, whether you're in the US or it's outsourced. Okay. And then those people are going to be doing the same jobs and a little bit more for lesser money. That is called the great reboot. And that's with all these, they interviewed all these recruiters and they said that's what's going on. But these big companies and these small companies are not letting you know that because that would mess up the game. Okay. But it's basically called the great reboot. And that is what we're going through. All right. Now, so it's good for you to know this. All right. And I did a like a 30-minute live segment, and that I posted telling you about that because the numbers don't make sense when you got supposedly 500 and something 517,000 jobs created in 1 month, and yet people are still unemployed. Well, I went over that. Okay. And also, efforts have been squashed to try to get illegal aliens that are coming to America to be able to work, but they're still trying to create some type of bill so they can work in America while being a legal alien or undocumented, however you want to call it. All right. So that is a great reboot. Now, and it's going on right now. Okay. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I lived in Seattle, we had something called the tech bubble. The tech bubble burst. Okay. And you can look it up. And what happened is you had all these overnight millionaires, literally. Okay. And I mean, tech was in its heyday. Now I'm in Seattle where, just, a little ways down from Microsoft. Tech was in its heyday. You could get jobs. I had a friend of mine that I went to college with. He actually got a job working at Amazon during that time. All he did was look at pictures. Those little pictures on Amazon? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a bad one. And at that time, this was back then, he got $50,000 just to do that. I mean, they were just throwing out money, okay? They just really believed that heyday wasn't in. And they did not heed the warnings, okay? There were lots of warnings. A lot of people, a lot of professionals in economics were telling them, beware, but they did not pay attention. And when it bust, it was really sad because I was working security, and my jobs increased. Okay, it didn't decrease. I wasn't working in tech. Okay, I was working security, and the reason it increased is because all these buildings that these overnight millionaires rented out, now they were vacant, and they had to be watched so they would not get vandalized, or stuff inside of them like copper or anything like that was not ripped out or stolen, So I had to do even more security than I was when that bubble bust, And it was sad. It was sad. Many, many people lost their jobs because a lot of the food places was relying on when people went to lunch and how people ordered in, okay, in these businesses. And when they went kapoof, their sales went down, okay. They didn't have anything to do with tech, but they had to fire people that were working in their restaurants and stuff. So it's a trickle down effect. So when you hear people getting fired from tech, that don't just hurt tech. Okay, that hurts all those other businesses that were being kept up because they were doing business with all of these tech companies that now they don't have that business. So either they have to lay off or shut down. And yes, that includes restaurants as well. Okay, janitorial, security, all that stuff. Okay, so what we're going through right now is called the big reboot. Okay, and it did trigger me a little bit because I remember all I went through and seeing so many depressed people. Uh, and I mean, they didn't come from old money. So they were not educated on how to save and handle money. They were blowing it trying to keep up with the Joneses. Okay. So when their company went belly up and they were fired, they were in the unemployment line like everyone else. Okay. And some of those people didn't get severance pay because those companies were bankrupt. So if you are a person that gotten some type of severance pay, be thankful. Okay, be thankful because at least your company didn't go bankrupt. If your company go bankrupt, man, you SOL, short on luck. Okay, now this is one of the things that also I want to touch on about unemployment right now. Okay, uh, try to in the job sector, try to be a little bit more patient with those that's processing unemployment because right now in the U.S. they are getting overwhelmed. Okay, they are getting really overwhelmed. Okay, and yes, I've been there. When you call, I'm in Pittsburgh. You call and the phone uh, is constantly busy. Yeah, I know. Okay, uh, but you gotta hang in there. Make sure you get. Oh, the quickest way to do it. If you're going to apply for unemployment, if you can, do it online. Okay, do it online. And a lot of times, if you say that you don't want papers being mailed to you, you want to just have it online where you can print it out and it's always there. The process is like 50 times quicker. Okay. And remember, just because you apply for unemployment does not mean you will get unemployment. It's not a guarantee. Okay. Now, but this great reboot is going on right now. Okay, and it connects with a lot of stuff that's going on. You have something called ghost jobs. Okay, these ghost jobs, all these companies are posting these jobs, but they're not hiring. Okay, especially work at home. Okay, they're not hiring, but they're posting them. Okay, and basically they'll even go to the point where you have to do the assessment. Anybody did online know I'm talking about, you have to take this assessment test and all this other stuff, but they're not hiring. Okay, some of them will keep your application because when they do decide to hire months from now, okay, and I'm being realistic, they want the latest and best that they're going to try to hire at a lower price. Now, but the ghost jobs, the reason that you don't see the time that those jobs were posted is because some of those jobs been up there for over a year. They're not hiring, but it does make the company look like that they're constantly hiring. So it makes the stockholders, it's a smoke and mirrors. The stockholders are going, wow, this company is doing good. They're constantly hiring. Okay, they're constantly growing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that don't benefit you and I, but that's part of the game. All right. So I just want to let y'all know. Also, I want to let you know give you words of encouragement. Sometimes you can feel alone because you're on unemployment. You can feel alone and think that you're the only one. You're not. Believe me, you're not. I was, I get in watching my pastime, watching some game, live stream gamings or recorded games, and on the live stream, you see a lot of people talking about how they're unemployed. They were laid off. Okay, it's affecting everybody, in the U.S. in one way or another. You are not alone, so don't feel like that you are alone. Okay, just and things will get better. All right, and I guess I'll write to you later. All right, I ask you to share this and let people know what's going on. Words of encouragement at the end, and also, if you want to, you can subscribe and you can give a thumbs up. All right, to this video. And I should wrap to y'all later. Peace.